right, our next guest, last but certainly not least, is a good friend of mine, Aamar from TickStrike, and he's going to be talking to you guys about order flow and how that affects the market, and also how that can tie in with Nadex training. So, Aamar, at this time, I will turn things over to you.
Hi guys, just a quick sound check before we get started. Give me some yeses in the room if everyone can hear me. Excellent. Getting some yeses coming through. Wow, you guys have had a long session today. Thank you for that introduction, Morgan. Appreciate it. Did anyone get a chance to watch the opening ceremony that us Brits managed to deliver yesterday? It was pretty awesome. The Queen jumping out of a helicopter, that was actually my idea. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. When it started, I was kind of thinking, green pastures, where is this going to go? It was really, really good. I was just so surprised that the Queen even set that up. It was really cool. I mean, we all know she didn't really jump out of a helicopter, but it was still, it was still really good. All right, guys. Well, a lot of you guys, I'm sure, already know me from Pivot Farm. Pivot Farm is my support and resistance research, and as a trader, there are three things that I focus on. One is support and resistance analysis. I look for, major support and resistance. I've spent a lot of time researching that, years researching that, and refining what I do. And that's kind of what created Pivot Farm. Another focus in my trading is news trading. I pay a lot of attention to news events. I trade all the major news events, and I've got softwares that I've developed and other things that I look at for trading major news. And lastly, something that ties in with Pivot Farm is order flow. I'm a big fan of order flow, and it's something I pay a huge amount of attention to. It's something that I really, really focus a lot on. And guys, just before we get started, have any of you come across order flow? Do you guys know what it is? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? Okay, so some yeses, some nos, a mix there. Okay, well, today we're going to enlighten you on that. The presentation is going to be pretty short, and we're going to keep things nice and simple. I'm going to give you something for free to help me test at the end of the presentation, so you can check out a cool little tool for order flow, but we shall introduce everything to you and you can tell me what you think. All right, guys, before we get started, here's my usual disclaimer: substantial risk of loss in trading, as I'm sure you guys know, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Now, guys, today's presentation is going to be pretty short, and we're going to save some time at the end for questions. And hopefully, we'll have some great questions from the team, the team, which is you guys, and we can work out some cool things. So, before we get started, a question for you all: what do you guys trade? What kind of traders do we have in the room today? Are you guys futures, S&P, Forex? All right, we're getting some futures guys kicking in. E-mini, FX, options, day trading, futures, Forex. Any particular favorite markets? Any guys here trade the Euro, S&P traders? Okay, crude. All right, so we've got a good mix. We've got a nice mix here. Great stuff. So lots of S&P, lots of general futures, commodities, FX. Someone is in there with lean hogs. That's a bit random for the group, but very cool. Good stuff. All right. So now, guys, my dilemma with this. Now, this is kind of how this project got started. I have friends of mine, Pivot Farm and my service and my trading and everything. It's based on a professional trading floor in London, and we're on a floor. There's about 100 odd traders on this floor. These are all pros, that have fairly large accounts. Some of them are independent, and some of them are funded by brokerage firms and prop firms, etc. And meeting with a lot of these guys, and especially, well, long before then as well, I often met traders who were on the floor. And they'd tell us about, oh, the great days on the floor, how they manipulated markets, how, when they saw one of the big guys coming in with sells, they would jump in as well, and little things like that. These little manipulations and things that used to happen on the floor. Cool little things that only an inside group were a part of. And I'm sure everyone will agree at that time, we're talking the early 90s here, mid 90s going, yeah, mid 90s. Um, there was, there were a lot of guys on the floor, especially here in the UK on the live floor, and things were starting to wind down, but the edge was still there. They were doing the little hand signs, yeah, absolutely, Gail, screaming and shouting at each other, biting, punching each other in the face, all the things that you hear about people doing on the floor. But they had a distinct edge because they could see, the big players in the market. They could see the Goldman Sachs and the JP Morgan and whoever was placing massive trades, and these guys would follow them. And one of my friends, he'd even tell me, I think he started on the floor when he was 18, and this is back in, I think it was 1990, and he'd say that his mentor, you weren't allowed to tell other groups of traders what you were doing because that's insider trading, but they would come up with these little hand signals to help their friends out. So if he did a foot shake with his left foot, that would mean follow me in with a sell. If he did it with his right foot, shook his right foot, that would mean follow me in with a buy. And I'd hear about all of these funny stories of one day the guy had a stitch in his foot, and you get a cramp, and you're shaking your leg to get that cramp out, and quite a few guys followed this guy in with a buy when the market was absolutely tanking. It's one of the funniest stories I heard in a while. And he's like, no, it was a cramp. So lots of little things like this happen in the market. The way they would work together, the way that they would work together and help each other out, and sometimes take each other in the wrong way with a crap. So this is kind of how things worked in the pit. And a lot of you guys, I'm sure, have heard of Pit Noise. It's a great service run by Ben Lichtenstein called Traders Audio, where you can listen to the pit, what's going on in the market at any given point. Visited the pit in February, and it was a heck of a lot quieter than apparently we've been told that it was in the past. So we were there, we were checking it out, it was pretty cool, a lot quieter, but in the heyday, it was just a beehive of action, a beehive of guys working together, helping you. If you were on the right side, if you were on the right team, you could really, do some great things. Now, what's happened, and as, what's really benefited us is that the markets have moved to electronic systems. So that means that, us average guys at home can use the markets, can take trades in the market, and it's much cheaper, it's much more efficient, and it's kind of opened the doors in the market. But the result of this is, well, I've written in on the slide note, it's less prone to manipulation with 2 stars, but we all hear about the Goldman Sachs HFTs and all this type of thing, but it's a much more open market because you have a centralized exchange, and it's an electronic exchange, and everyone seemingly has the same kind of access. It's a lot more difficult to see what others are doing and interpret why they're doing a heck of a lot more difficult than it was in the days of the pit. So the guys in the pit had a lot of advantages when the pits were really, really active. And, with the electronic markets, it's kind of flattened things out because you'll see a lot of the guys, Adrian mentioned this as well, a lot of the guys moving from the pit to the electronic markets, they kind of have to change the way they did things, and a lot of them are just not making that transition. So guys, long story short, what is order flow? What are we talking about here? Order flow is the fundamental process of the market auction mechanism. Okay, it is the fundamental base of what is happening in the market. It's people here in the bid, people in the ask. It's buy orders, sell orders. It's the main base of what is happening in the market. In its core, that's what it is. Everything is based around order flow. All these indicators and methods and everything everyone does, it comes down fundamentally to order flow. And supply and demand, demand increasing and supply decreasing, is facilitated by order flow, because it's order flow that decides, demand, that facilitates people showing demand in the market or supply in the market. Order flow is the precursor that drives price. So there have to be sell orders in the market for price to go lower. There have to be buy orders for it to go higher. And price discovery, is powered by cumulative order flow action. So price moving up and down is powered by this action. Does this kind of make sense, guys? So order flow is the fundamental building block of the market. It's those orders that I'm sure everyone here has placed an order. You've contributed to order flow with that one order. It's that simple. It's that simple. Whether it's a single contract or whatever it might be, you've contributed to order flow by trading. Now, what is tape reading and order flow analysis? This is something that's kind of happened. Tape reading has been around for years and years and years. Since the dawn of the markets, where a lot of the guys, you've probably even seen those old images of people looking at a ticker tape of what are the orders coming through. Order flow and tape reading is basically the analysis of the rate and size of orders at any given point in time. So you're basically looking at how the market's moving. You're looking at the rate of time and sales. You're looking at how these orders are being assimilated and taken up by the markets. And we're looking for confirmation of market inflection points. Like I'm a big support and resistance analyst. That's my main focus. I look for areas to do business, and I have setups that are focused on order flow for my trades. And they're great for helping you see when the sellers are disappearing or the buyers are disappearing, and look for those inflection points. And you're collecting up all these probabilities. And another thing it's great for is looking for momentum initiation. So when a trade, say for example, you've seen a bunch of selling, and then you've seen the market starting to reverse. You can see by analyzing order flow when the buyers are coming back into the market. You can see that flow changing. And this is what indicators are, like stochastics and MACDs and all these types of things. This is what they're kind of designed to do, but why not look at the raw, bits of the market, the raw fundamental blocks of the market that give you that insider information? And that's essentially what order flow analysis and tape reading is all about. So guys, here is just some quick, easy examples just to illustrate what's kind of happening at any given point in time. This isn't the greatest diagram in the world, but I'm going to use it nonetheless. Now, what you're seeing here, this little rectangular widget, is the red bit is the quantity of sellers, the green bit is the quantity of buyers, and how the flow is changing, the increase of sell flows, the decrease of buy flows, whatever it might be. So what you'll start to notice is that as this market is moving down and you're seeing sustained an increase in the amount of sellers. Now what I've noticed, which is pretty cool, is that when the market hits a certain extreme of selling, like you're seeing in this example here, that tends to lead to a capitulation or a major pause. So you're seeing an extreme in selling as a result of this candle, and it's resulting in a bottoming out. And hopefully this is in a support area, according to our support and resistance analysis. And you can pay attention to that. So sell flows also, they allow you to see the market moving in a certain direction by increasing flows, and when those flows hit an extreme, it's a great place to start looking for contrarian opportunities, because what's happening, and I'm sure many of you guys, like myself, have been that person that's bought right at the top. I don't know what it is, a lot of people seem to come in at the top. You just see a burst of sell orders at the bottom of a move. It's just one of those things. It's us last suckers getting on the trade. So looking at order flow can really help you identify when that change is happening, when that shift is happening, when order flow is hitting extremes. Okay, things like breakout flows. Now, what you'll notice in the example here is that order flow is pretty, average. It's about 50-50 all along here. The market's oscillating up and down, a little bit up, a little bit down, kind of staying in the same place. Now, you're hitting this support area here, this intraday support level in this area, and you're seeing the market make a pop lower. Suddenly, you're seeing an influx of sell orders, right? And if you knew that there were sell orders coming in at this break level, you'd follow it, right? Give me some yeses, guys. If you saw some sell orders coming in at that point in time, you'd follow those sell orders, wouldn't you? Yeah, you'd follow them. You'd go with that flow. It's logical. If you see a burst of orders from a support area, that area is broken, there's no confirmation of a trade in the opposite direction or a long trade. It's taking things lower. Robert, good question. Is time and sales the same as order flow? It is. In my opinion, it is. Time and sales is the flow of orders. It's what's happening in the market. It's described. Okay, and the same thing here, guys. Breakout from resistance. You've got a resistance area here. You've got price pretty average here, meandering around. You've got a pop through, which is taking us higher, and you've got a sudden burst of buying, breaking us out higher. And again, capitulation. When you see extremes of buying, it's time to look for opportunities in the other direction. There might not necessarily, if you've got some major news event, this is why I say that I focus on three things. I focus on support and resistance, order flow, and I focus on news. I mean, I'm fortunate on the fact that I run my trading and my businesses on a trading floor that has its own analyst news desk. So if there's a breaking story, I know about it very quickly. We've got a team of people that are analyzing Bloomberg and Reuters and all the major platforms. So, I'm lucky in the fact that I have access to market moving information at that point in time. But, order flow, unless there's a crazy thing happening in the market, you'll see capitulation. You'll see when things go absolutely crazy, and you'll know that you should start looking for, a move in the opposite direction. And just a quick illustration of reversal throws. When you start seeing the market, selling off, you're going to see increasing in selling. You'll see a capitulation, and you'll see a flattening where, pardon me, the market moving to 50-50, and then you'll see buyers coming back in, taking us higher, and back. The market moves from balance to out of balance to balance. So we were in a balanced state over here. Let me just get another pen color. Let's trash those ones, and yeah, let's just continue with the red. So the market across here was in balance. We broke out of balance. We moved lower. Sell orders came in, breaking that balance. We moved back into balance, and then we saw an influx of buys taking us higher. The market is really that simple. The oscillations of the market kind of work in this way. You're seeing, ebbs and flows, balance, out of balance, balance, out of balance. And, this is why things like squeeze methods and this type of thing work incredibly well. Okay, guys, now, so I hope some of that made sense. My mission was to try and recreate the edge that you have in the pit in a digital world. So pit noise, we were talking about, you have this amazing advantage of selling in the pits, guys screaming their heads off saying, buy, 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 buy. You can follow those buyers, and that's exactly the kind of thing they used to do. Or the guy shaking his left foot and his right foot. That's what they used to do. And it creates a real herd effect with people coming together. With electronic exchanges, that possibility seemingly is not there. However, what we've tried to do with this tool, with this analysis, is create pit noise for the digital age, right? This is digital pit noise. And what we're basically analyzing is the underlying trade information. We're analyzing what's actually happening in the market, and we're making this automated to give you an interpretive view of what's going on in the market. So guys, I'm going to show you a little video, and hopefully this video will work. This is the tool. This is our research in action. Let me find it. Morgan, fingers crossed, my friend. All right, guys, let me know if you can hear me at the same time. You're seeing some sell orders on the markets here, and I hope you can see the little meter that we have here. Just watch this, guys. The sound you're hearing is selling orders, substantial amount of selling orders. This, it doesn't play like this all day long. It's substantial amounts. The video kind of cuts through. If there's silence, it would cut forward. So let me just pause just 1 second. So this little meter here is giving you a visual gauge of the strength of selling, right? Or the strength of buying. So you're seeing what level 1 red selling there, and then go all the way to level 9, and it'll turn green as well for the opposite direction. Now the sound you're hearing is kind of like a Geiger counter for the market. It's giving you the actual sell flows. Yeah, Gail, so the beeps, they're not signals in and of themselves. They're basically giving you when an amount of selling or buying is coming into the market that you should pay attention to. That's what you're hearing, right? So if the market's oscillating, like just over here, I hope you can see my mouse is in this area here, just before this bit of selling started, a couple of candles before, you saw things go sideways. Nothing would have happened at that point in time. It would have just been, completely quiet. But it's basically turning order flow or time and sales information into audible and visual data. So I'm sure everyone here has looked at time and sales. You've seen the orders flowing through. This is about turning that information into something usable. Right? It's about turning that information into something usable. It's audible and it's visual. So now you're seeing the level 2s kicking in here. You're seeing the market pop lower. And I'll just let this play for you guys. I hope you can hear the sound. Hi, Craig. Yep, it's definitely different. You hear some buying sound in a second. Hi, Dara. This is order flow. This is you listening to order flow. This is you listening to the rate of order flow, the size of order flow. The software adjusts based upon the rate and the size. It looks for a cumulative effect. Exactly, the red bars are showing the strength. So this is level 8. And it kind of, I flicked through this. So this is green. So we've just seen a pop up in this chart here. I started recording and I missed this move, the move to the breakout, but it's an excellent breakout tool. And you're just seeing the market moving. You're seeing the orders coming in. And there's nothing more gratifying than entering a trade and you've entered a long and hearing that long sound coming in, hearing this ticking coming in, and knowing that it's going in the right direction. Yeah, it's coming from different speakers, Craig. So the selling sound comes from the left speaker, the buying from the right speaker. A lot of the guys that have been testing it have actually been using it with Nadex because Morgan and I work with Nadex quite closely. They've been using it to look for breaks that would lead to the market moving higher over the next 5 to 10 minutes. Binary options, perfect way to take advantage of that type of move. So we've got some sell flows coming in here. Hi Val, this is completely chart independent. It's a software in and of itself. I'm going to show you what the software looks like in just a second. Right now we have this for futures, we have this for FX. Pretty soon we're going to have it for individual stocks. So you're going to be able to listen, to Google. You'll be able to listen to Apple, how they move, and all the flows of what's happening in the markets. So a lot of the time the tool will be silent, so you'll hear nothing. But when there's something happening, it'll kick into place. So this is what the actual tool looks like. So there's a few orbs. You've got the instruments. You've got the main TickStrike orb, and you've got the visual meter. And the visual meter is it's got its own independent data supply, which we've set up. So you don't need to worry about paying for data. But guys, I'm not actually going to offer this for you guys to buy today. I'm going to give everyone like a free week to try it out. You don't need to sign up with a credit card or anything like that. We just want lots of people to test it. We have people paying for it and using it at the moment, but test it. Tell us what you think. It's completely platform independent. So you can use it even if whatever you're doing, you can just use it. It's completely there to test. Neil, does this address issues with false bids and offers? It only looks at trades that have been fulfilled, trades that have actually taken place, trades that have gone through the market. Essentially what it's doing is turning this information, time and sales, into sound. That's what it does. That's the main focus. It turns this information into sound. And that's the main focus of what we do. Morgan, if you'd be so kind, I'll get Morgan to put this up, and I'm going to get you guys signing up. It's tickstrike.com/trial. Sorry, if you wouldn't mind putting that up as a notice in the chat as well, Morgan, that would be great, buddy. So let me kind of run through this thing, and I can see you guys are getting really excited about this because there's lots of questions coming through. Hi, TM, good question by you. If you trade the YM or Russell, it's less volume, of course. Is a TickStrike more useful for that specific market, or listen to the S&P as a proxy? That is a great question. I listen to the S&P because these markets, the Nasdaq and the YM, are highly correlated. However, you can have all three up at the same time. I'm a big fan of momentum and correlation. So I have all three meters up. So if you see the S&P, the Nasdaq, and the Dow moving together, it's it's really, really cool. In terms of processor load, it's very, very light. It's designed for traders. The professionals on our floor use this as well. So I've been absolutely getting a new beep beep TED for me, because people just wanted it to be lighter and lighter, and this is something I've been working on for years. It's been a long-term development process, just to make it lighter, just to make it faster. Yeah, exactly, William. William, I'm sure you tested Tape Tweet, which was the original version of this. We've improved it significantly since then, and that was, I don't know, years ago now, Will, wasn't it? I think it's been a couple of years at least. And that was it was at its idea stage, and we were just testing it out and getting people to use it. But the sounds you're hearing is not pit orders, it's the cumulative market. It's what's actually happening in the market. It's what's actually happening in the market at that point in time. It's every fulfilled order. We actually even have this for Forex. We've got the Forex futures, and we have this for Forex as well. We aggregate feeds from lots of different brokers. So we have FX guys using it as well. So it's a very cool bit of kit, and I'm sure you guys will love it. Guys, I've got quite a bit more to go in the presentation, but it seems that the questions are overwhelming. Yeah, this is for the ES. It's for all the major markets. So all the futures are covered. Most FX is covered. You've got FX futures as well. Right now we've got 15 instruments, much like Pivot Farm. But in the next 6 months or so, we're going to be increasing this to 100. We're going to have individual stocks. We're going to have all the Eurex stuff. We're going to have lots of things. Yeah, Stacy, Apple, Google, everything is going to be on its way. We're not quite there with Apple and Google yet. We've been testing. So I've been listening to Apple and Google recently, but we haven't launched it in the product yet. Yep. John, the question is, how doesn't this integrate into the power zones? Because the power zones are all about identifying key areas to pay attention to. Trade. This will confirm that trade. You've taken a long, you want to hear buyers coming in. If you've taken a long and you hear sellers coming in, you want to get out of that trade. That's what this does. It's really, really cool. What was the chart that you showed with TickStrike times? Where do you find that? I'm not sure what you mean, TickStrike times. Yeah, you would. I mean, the pivots are analysis of the market based upon what it's done in the past and what we think it's likely to do. TickStrike is real time. TickStrike is what's actually happening. I mean, in the crisis, this was developed just before the crisis, so we're talking 2007, 2008. In the crisis, this was the most absolutely amazing tool you could ever see, because we saw these massive flowing moves with huge amounts of selling, and it was like sell and come back half an hour later, tick, 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 and as soon as you hear a bit of buying coming in, you get out of the trade. It was that easy. It was that great. But it's a powerful tool. It's a really great thing. It's something I've spent a huge amount. My friend DTI and I have spent a huge amount of time developing, because it's so jazzy. It's so cool. So guys, why now? We're in an economic crisis. Economic crises are all about volatility. Volatility for a trader is the most beautiful thing. It should put a smile on your face every time you see, things going crazy. And this is the tool for volatility. This is the tool to pay attention to. So I'm gonna continue to the presentation. So here's some stuff about using TickStrike. You can use it for trade management, again with the binaries. If you've entered a binary and you want things to move higher, you can use this to guide that trade, to focus your attention. Because I know Daryl Martin's in the room today. He has a great strategy where he's kind of hedging futures with binaries. It's a great tool for that, because you can see the futures moving. You can use this to manage your trade. You can use this to kind of let that winner run, right? Let things go, let things move forward. And for strategies like he employs, it's an absolutely great tool. And Daryl, get in touch with me, bud, and I'll hook you up with some access to this. It's great for stop management, because say, for example, you've entered a buy. Now, you've entered a buy, you want to hear buyers coming into the market, right? You want to hear them taking things higher. Now, when buyers take things higher, that's great. If you've taken a long and you hear sellers coming in, you want to get out of that. Now, the difficulty for traders, and I'm sure all 330 odd people in this room will agree, is that when you enter a trade, you don't objectively know, should I get out of this or not? Shall I hope and make sure it goes, see if it goes up? There's nothing objectively telling you to get out. When you actually hear sellers coming in against you, you'll get out of the trade. You'll cut your losers short, and you'll let your winners run, because you can hear the flows in your favor. You can hear the flows working with you. Does that make sense, guys? Give me some yeses. Is everyone with me? Okay, excellent. Everyone, lots of yeses. Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, so trade initiation. Now, this is the second way. So trade management is one way to use the tool. Trade initiation. Now, say we're in a volatile environment, right? It's got to be a little bit more volatile than it is right now, unless you're talking crude. Crude is an absolutely amazing instrument for this tool. But you can actually, when you hear sellers coming in, you can enter a short. When you hear buyers coming in, you can enter a buy. But I kind of only do that when the markets are volatile. When, I'm a support and resistance trader. That's what I focus my attention on. But when things go absolutely crazy and absolutely wild in the markets, support and resistance doesn't mean a thing. It goes totally out of the window. What matters then is order flow. What matters then is people selling off, like crazy. Hey, Nate has been using this thing for a long time. I think he was one of the original guys to help us test it. It's such a valuable tool in so many different ways. So we've got trade initiation, and especially for binaries, you know, you're buying a short-term binary, a 5-minute binary, or 15-minute binary. I think binaries are even 1 minute now, and you know you want it to reach a certain level. You hear buyers coming in. You place the binary, you wait for it to hit that level. You know, it's really cool in that way. Okay, TickStrike fading. Now, guys, you've heard me talk about trading with the buying momentum, trading with the selling momentum. I actually a ridiculous amount of selling, and you're seeing 9 bars on TickStrike, and it's absolutely going crazy. It's a great time to look to trade against TickStrike because this move has become overextended. It's gone beyond the average true range, and look for a setup against TickStrike, and then say for example this setup that you've seen, TickStrike is saying down, down, sell, 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 and you have a long setup, and it's screaming selling. You take that long. If it's confirmed by TickStrike, you hold on to it. If you see more selling come in, you get out. It's very, very powerful for that, and especially in low volatility, range bound environments. Those are ugly trades, and if the market's oscillating between certain levels, so I'm just going to draw it onto this slide. If the market's oscillating between 2 levels, you're just seeing it move up and down. What tends to happen is when the market gets up to this level, this area here, you'll see a little flurry of buyers coming and looking for a breakout. These tend to be small buyers. It's us retail suckers trying to get in, and you get a little one tick on TickStrike. It's a great opportunity to fade TickStrike, trade against it, and look for a trade in the opposite direction. So there's lots of ways to use it. It all comes, with Pivot Farm, I've often talked about adapting to the market, adapting to the environment. You've just got to adapt to the environment. You've just got to adapt to the environment. You've got to use it, adapt with what the tool is doing. Breakout trading, oh, dudes, and Nate, I'm sure, will absolutely agree with this, and any of the other guys that are using the tool that are in the room. For breakout trading, it's incredibly powerful, because you've got your area that you want to see a breakout from. When you see a rush of momentum, a rush of buying orders breaking out through that area, you follow that momentum. Denise, dudes, you follow that momentum, and it'll really just take things higher, take things to another level. So guys, there's some other stuff that I could go through. I don't want to bore you with it. My time's pretty much coming to a close. But TickStrike allows you to hear the market. It allows you to quantifiably understand order flow and what's happening, to interpret what's happening, to follow the winners, to follow the buy flows, to follow the sell flows, to adapt to how the market is changing. This is digital pit noise. This is those screaming and shouting that you hear from traders in the pit, digitized. That's what we've tried to create with this. So guys, you got a week to try it out. No credit card needed, okay? No credit card needed. TickStrike.com/trial. Try it out for a week. If you like it, we'll give you a special offer at the end of the week to buy it. If you don't, you've lost nothing at all. Just give us your feedback as to why you don't like it. That's all I want. I'm incredibly proud of this tool. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's a real game changer because there's nothing else really like this and what this does. So you've got a week to try it out. Whole of next week, use it. Questions, just send an email to mail@tickstrike.com, and I'll be happy to help you guys out. But definitely try it out. I want to see everyone in here. I want to see 300 signups, 300 people trying this out, seeing if it's for them. And guys, if there's any questions, feel free to ask away. And just try it out. Give us your feedback. There's no risk to you whatsoever, and see if it's for you. Thank you, guys. It is completely platform independent, Daryl. you could be drawing the charts with a pencil and paper, and it will work. It's a standalone software. It works completely by itself. So you can use any platform. Completely independent. Daryl, don't worry about password. Just enter your email and your name, and we will get you set up. Hi Sam, it's Windows only at the moment. I'm a PC, unfortunately. Hi Cletus. How many desktop? I think just one. But if you did, for the trial, it's just one. But if you did sign up, we can work out something for you if you want to use it for multiple desktops. But the thing is, you don't need it. You can actually set it for multiple desktops, but you just need your username and password to run it on those desktops. So that's it. Fred, how do I tell the difference between buy and sells? Well, one, the cells will be on the meter itself will be red. The buys will be green. The buy sound is higher pitch. The sell sound is very low pitch. But the best way for you to tell, download it, set it up. No credit card needed, no information. Set it up, listen to it. Have it on in the background for a few days, and you'll get it. And you'll get it, and it'll make total sense. Hi, Gail. What time frame? Gail, you can use it with any time frame. I mean, it's a day trading tool, so it's a lower time frame. So, you know, the lower the time frame, the better, in my opinion. Give me just a second, guys. A few of you guys are getting errors, and I'm going to have my tech guy just take a look at things. I'm just going to send him a quick message. Forex, I'm guessing you're a fan of currency trading with that name. I wonder. Yes, we've got most currency pairs. We haven't got the pound yen, unfortunately, which we're going to get set up soon. Pound yen is one of the most volatile pairs around, but we will definitely have that soon. Yeah, guys, the password for the site will be actually emailed to you. So you've signed up, you'll get an email that has your username, password, the whole works. You know, has it there. Hi, Jay, separate feed for the Russell for sure. Wow, you guys have really woken up. There's non-stop questions. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, JT, you'll get an email that has the username and password. It'll be emailed to you. It'll be emailed to you directly. Please check your emails and add, check your spam folders and add, TickStrike to your safe list. Mike, when for equities? Well, you know what, guys? The big question is this. The more of you guys that sign up for a trial, the more of you guys that like this product, the quicker we'll do the equities, because there's more incentive for the guys that are helping me develop this to do that. So I'm aiming to get equities up and running within the next couple of months or so. But if everyone goes absolutely crazy for the product, which they are right now, we'll try and do things much faster. Daniel, we don't have a live training, but that's something we're considering. Just having a room where it's running all day long. Fred, it's something we should definitely do because I think people want that live interaction with it. Daniel, you get everything. You've got everything on trial. You've got the complete software running. The whole works on the trial. Hi, Fred. I mean, are there false signals, for example, once buyer sells triggered, or does the trade ever fizzle out? Fred, of course it does. This is trading, my friend. If this was the holy grail, it'd be the holy grail. The market is quite the monster, and sometimes you'll get fake outs, but it's a quite good way to identify fake outs, but it can happen. It's a tool. You know, everyone here, I'm sure, has looked at time and sales, and everyone here probably has heard of tape reading. But you know, people talk about tape. It's such a difficult thing to do. It's such a difficult thing to learn. That you know, you need the time to kind of get to grips with it, and it's a really difficult. This is kind of shortening that learning curve because you're seeing the tape, you're hearing the tape, you're hearing the order flow. Hi, Gail. Have we beta tested commodities yet? Gail, please say that you're a crude trader. Are you? Do you like CL? Are any of you guys in here crude traders? Any CL traders? Give me some yeses if anyone here trades crude. Okay. Everyone that said yes, you need to sign up for this right now. You need to sign up for this right now. And on Monday morning, I want you to load up the platform and I want you to watch the crude markets. Watch it for a few days. And then I want you to send me checks for $50,000 individually, make them to my anonymous bank account in Switzerland. You'll love it. For you CL guys, it's just absolutely great because CL is such a volatile market. It's such a volatile market that it works incredibly well with this. You know, because the more like when CL calms down and the S&P becomes incredibly volatile, or whatever it might, you know, however the market changes, the more volatile the market, the better this works. Because what you're getting is flowing long moves. You're hearing those buyers coming in, but the moves extended. You're seeing, you know, 30, 40, 50 ticks. And because CL trends, as Gail just said, Gail, it's like we're on the same level. We're on the same wavelength. CL trends very, very nicely in the short-term environment. It trends really, really well, and you just have that flow. Guys, I'm really sorry. I'm going over my time ridiculously today. Morgan, my sincere apologies, my friend. I'm going to wrap things up. And guys, thank you so much for your time today, and I appreciate it very much. I appreciate it very much. Kim, I work on a professional trading floor. Enough said. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'm going to wrap things up.